Okay, so let's get into building. The first thing we're going to do is build a very basic layout. We need obviously a page to start with, and we'll do like a little header, footer, etc. So the first thing we're going to do, what you notice is the IDE or the text editor I'm using here is called PHP Storm. You'll see here it has my file structure. This is my text editor here, and it's also linked with its own FTP client. So for me, it's an all-rounder. First thing we'll do, we're going to do this. We're going to load HTML file first, and we're going to call it index. Only because it just preloads the tags for you. And now we can refactor this to PHP. There you go, because we're going to be working in PHP. So we've got our doc type, our HTML, so the browser knows what it is, our head, and our body. Now it's in the body is where everything we're really going to work with goes. We'll put things in the head. This is stuff like the title. When you open a browser, you see a title of the browser. It's normally the page or the site that you're on. So let's start with that. Okay. There you go. There's your title. Okay, first thing to note, I'm going to split these files up, this page up, mainly because you don't want to, on every single page, you don't want to have a head, a header, a footer, especially if it's all going to be using the same content. If you do that on every single page, then you're going to have to, if something changes, you're going to have to go to every single page to change it. Now, a way around that, we'll start a new directory and call it includes. Structure. I like to split up as much as I possibly can. Now, create a PHP file called head, and one called footer. We'll call it foot for now. Oh, wrong thing. Delete that. Let's try creating a page. Okay, so we've got our head and our foot. So if I split this, this is the stuff that will go in our foot. So we can just cut this out, put it in there, and this is the stuff. Actually, we'll take this as well for now. That will go in our head. Okay, so our index page is empty, but we do want to include this in, otherwise it'll be a dead page. So we can PHP include, and good thing with PHP Storm as well, it kind of writes it for you. Structure, and then we want our head file here. And I'm just going to duplicate this. PHP Storm, it's Command D. And foot. Okay, so anything in between these two, this is now in between our opening body tag in our head and our closing body tag in our foot. So we can just say hi. I'm going to upload all these. Reload this, and there. We still got our title, which is up here, and now we've got the hi. So it's very basic in a minute. Okay, so what structure do we want? Well, we're going to want in our, not in our head actually, we're going to want another one called header. So if we open another one called header, and in here, actually we'll bring our body tag. Oh. More fingers and thumbs. and we're going to want a header. We'll get into coding this a bit more. And in the header, we're going to want our nav. Now, for now, we're just going to inline style. I'm not going to add a CSS sheet yet. We'll do that a little bit later on. We'll just put nav items in there. And now we're going to create a footer. Okay, now we will have to bring these in to each page. And we will do that. You know, we will tidy this up as we go. I'm just going to duplicate this again because we don't want to pull these in on every single page either. So we will tidy it up as we go. Save that. There. So we've got our nav items and our footer items. Okay, so these are kind of split out, very basic at the moment. So let's think about what we want now. So we want our main, if we open a website, up the top, all across here, we're going to want our main navigation, have something like login, logout, account, as you see in a lot of places, and then we'll have a nav down the side here. Now that nav down the side will be our action items, so we can add categories, add a finance, incoming, outgoing kind of thing. And then our footer is just as footer on every website. We can actually, well, we can do what we want with that. So back in the header tag just for now. Div class container. We can actually have these in or out. We can actually put the header in or outside the container. It really depends how we're going to code it later on. So for now, I'll just keep it outside, and the same with footer, I'll keep that outside. So in the container, we're going to want two sections really. Let's inline style this so we can see what we're doing. Width 100%, border 1 pixel solid. Let's make this green. So that's our container, and then we're going to want two items in this container. We're going to want the navigation on the left and then the main body container. So we can do a side. Not sure if we're going to add a class to this yet. We probably will later on, but let's just do some basic stuff first. Width, let's say 20%. This is way too big for what we're going to want, but we can again alter this later on when we do proper styling. 1 pixel solid, and let's have this one as blue. Side nav. I'm going to copy this and cheat a little bit. Actually, I shouldn't have copied that because I'm not doing a side. Let's do div class main content, style width 80%. Actually, with the borders, these are not going to line up next to each other. These are going to stack because we're actually adding the border, so it's going to go a little bit over 80%. So I might just pull these down in a minute. I'll show you what I mean. Let's have red. Main content. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean first. Let's upload this. Yeah, So you've got the side nav there and the main content, or content as I've spelled it. You'd think that we've had this as 20%, that is 80%, they would be next to each other, but they won't at the moment. One, I haven't floated them next to each other, but they are actually too big because we've added the border. It's just, for now, that's 79. I'll put that at 19 for now. And we're going to want to float these next to each other. Okay, that should be better. There you go. Okay, that is our very basic structure for now. Like I said, we're going to be, all the stuff we're going to be working on is probably going to be main content. And I am going to change the name because that is going to bug me. There you go. The footer items, we'll sort that out later because it's not important. That is a very basic structure. We'll work from that. We'll input some fonts to make things, some icons, sorry, to make things look nice later on. Okay, cool. Meet me in the next part.